Hello there, my name's Alan Darby. I'm a member of DWP Corruption and this is my case. I won't bore you with incidentals, I will take you direct to the prima facie evidence that the Warwickshire Police and the Stafford Police claim has been investigated. Mike O'Brien, MP for North Warwickshire, states there is no evidence. The CPS claims there is no evidence. The only evidence that they had was to prosecute Michael Archer for stealing £5.4 million. He was sentenced to 5 years imprisonment at Coventry Crown Court in 2000. The trial started in 1999. One of the outstanding pieces of prima facie evidence, for those who are uninitiated, prima facie evidence is criminal evidence, evidence that can be used in a court of law. It is quite overwhelming, unmistakable, and it's factual. In actual fact, it is made in a statement of claim by a solicitor, and it was used in a county court in Birmingham in 2000. And it resulted from action that the Law Society, using a firm of solicitors Pinsett, Curtis and Biddle of Birmingham, Colmorough, Birmingham, took out an action against Andrew Joseph Brown, prison officer, ex-prison officer of Winton Green Prison, who I claim murdered Stephen King. And he murdered Stephen King for £600,000. The piece of evidence in particular is available for anyone to photocopy it so they can read it in depth. Both the statement from Leslie Brown to North Warwickshire Borough Council at an open meeting that was stolen by O'Brien, the solicitor report it being reported to the Warwickshire Police in 2007. So the claim that the Staffordshire Police make that the investigation by the Warwickshire Constabulary covered all the issues, and the evidence is old evidence. It's not old evidence, it's never been investigated, because the evidence that was investigated or reported to the IPCC, who instructed the Warwickshire Police to investigate DC Brian Treadwell, the Warwickshire Police virtually turned round to the IPCC and told them to go and stick the heads up the arse. They're not even going to talk to him. The document is there for you to see. We're not going to even see DC Brian Treadwell. The IPCC was given power by government, by this British government, this Labour government in particular, to investigate police officers. They are the watchdog to oversee that the police do a correct job. The IPCC is endemically corrupt. It is a waste of public money. You pay for it. Joe Public, taxes, all your money down the drain for this sham body that covers up police corruption. However, the document which is listed below, especially with a reference to claim number BM 200413 in the Birmingham County Courts in June 2002. There is a document there. Access it and you'll be able to read all the details in there. There's not a lot to read. Now, if this, as we say, the police carried out a proper investigation, confirmed by the Staffordshire Police recently. The Chief Constable of the Staffordshire Police, Chris Sims, was only yesterday made Chief Constable of the West Midlands Police. I'm glad I'm not in Birmingham. The man is a crook, he's a liar, and his officers are really seriously corrupt. Seriously corrupt. I will read paragraph 24. Now, bearing in mind that the trial took place in 1999. The solicitor was charged for stealing £3.3 million. In actual fact, he stole £5.4 million. But the theft of the money that took place in 1997 and 1998 were not entered. The reason being is because David King was murdered in 1997, and that would attract attention to the amount of money that was stolen in 1997-98. Paragraph 24 reads, I am informed by solicitor and believe that during the course of their investigations the police discovered that on the 31st of October 1997 Michael Archer purchased the property known as 8 Kingfisher Drive, Colwick, in the defendant's name. The defendant is Andrew Joseph Brown, prison officer at Winton Green. The defendant's name for the sum of £145,000. 145k, £145,000, a brand new house, which he was living at the time. He was living in a council rented property, rented to him by North Warwickshire Borough Council. He was a tenant, a council tenant, without a mortgage. The monies were made up for clients' funds obtained by misappropriation from the client's accounts. He stole the money off Archer Adams' client's accounts. His partner is making this statement in a county court 2 years after his partner got sent to prison. And A, B, C, D, E. It reads £15,000 from the accounts of clients who, for reasons of confidentiality, should be called S. There is a cheque for the sum of £15,000 made payable to AJ Brown, dated the 13th of December 1996. The defendant admits receiving this cheque for the sum on the 11th of December 96. And it goes on. £23,000 from the accounts of clients who, for reasons of confidentiality, will be called R. On the 3rd of October 1997, there is a cheque in the sum of £23,000 made payable to AJ Brown, dated the 3rd of October 1997. The defendant admits receiving this sum for about £20,000, which they used on a holiday. £20,000, stolen money, most of it from the old and vulnerable, the clients of Archer Adams. The prison officer was given £20,000. Just that simple amount alone. Why was you given £20,000? We don't have to ask. The solicitor of the partner who stole it puts it in writing, but it's in a civil court. A civil court in Birmingham, locked court, behind closed doors. The judge's name cannot be revealed. It's on the documentation. You are not to disclose the judge's name. This is how corrupt it was. They committed acts of treason, money laundering, on the pretence, so the indemnity fund says, to pay the prison officer £216,000 for a claim against the Home Office. They've brought the Home Office into it as well. What's all this? £600,000 plus, but what's the indemnity fund paying this clown, this corrupt prison officer, £216,000 for? I'll tell you why they paid him £216,000, to stop him blackmailing the likes of Mike O'Brien, the Chief Constable of the Warwickshire Constabulary, the Deputy Chief Constable of the Warwickshire Constabulary, and all the other hangers on who took £5.3 million. No money was recovered. Only one person was prosecuted for it, and he said, I only kept £100,000 for myself and I gave the rest away so people would like me. Now, why didn't the judge turn around and ask him, Judge Richard Cole, who did you give all this money to? But he was only dealing with, in actual fact, £303,000, £3,300,000, I beg your pardon. He stole £5.4 million. But, as I said, the police entered £2.25 million to be taken into TIC, charges he was never charged with, because they started in 1997 and finished in 1998. From 92 to 98, the solicitors stole £5.4 million. On average, £1 million a year. The solicitor didn't have time to be a solicitor. He couldn't have took no court cases on. Now, his partner, having said that the Warwickshire Police have investigated it, O'Brien said there's no evidence to substantiate any evidence. Even recently, in 2009, from January to the present day in June, the Staffordshire Police said there's no evidence. So who stole all the money, and why was this bloke sent to prison? Have a look at the evidence.